Hey everyone, so in this video, I'm going to be running over the best B2B cold email for 2025. This is what I've used to book over 147 meetings as an SDR, as an AE. But these are the templates that are currently working with my 100 plus SaaS sales clients that I'm coaching one to one. Some of them have had 12% reply rates, some of them booked 5 enterprise meetings in a month, and some of them have been able to average over 180% for 6 months, with the majority coming through email. So in this video, I'm just going to break down the exact initial email. I'm going to leave a link as well. So if you want to just download this resource for free, you can. But this video is designed to teach you exactly how to write high converting emails to help you book more outbound meetings to build your pipeline. So the first thing is email in 2025. A lot of people say it's dead, it's broken. It's all false. Like, email still works. All outbound still works if you do it well. But the most important thing that we need to do is talk to our persona and their world. So before we even talk about the email template, the most important thing to understand is how are you going to resonate to your buyers? You need to understand who's the job titles I'm going after. What do they do in their day to day? What issues do they have? What's the impact of those issues to their KPIs? Because what we can do with that information is then create a cost of inaction. And then once we understand this, we can show how we help them fix the gap. So again, before we even talk about emails, like, this isn't a silver bullet, it's not a magic fix. You need to do a deep dive to understand who you're selling to and what their priorities are. Now, let's hop into the actual email template. So I call it the tips framework. I created this myself based off a few incredible templates that I learned from. So the first thing, the T, is the trigger, which is why you're actually reaching out to this person now. In 2025, again, there's so much relevance that people are leading with, with AI, personalization, all this stuff. But the downside to that is, with AI, there's so many emails being sent to people's inboxes. There's so much spam, there's so much noise. So we always need a clear reason to reach out. So there's two ways we can do the trigger. The first one is based on the person. The second one is based on the account. So when it's a personal trigger, this is something like a job change, a promotion. Maybe they're hiring in their particular team. Maybe they've followed your company on LinkedIn. This is what the individual has done. I sort of prefer these ones because if an individual has had something happen, we can easily tie that to their goals, their priorities, and show how we help them. Right? So that's the first batch, like a personal trigger. The second one is then an account-based trigger. So this is something that's happened to the company that could affect that individual. So for example, like, let's say I'm selling to sales leaders, which I do, like a CRO. If I notice that they've hired 5 new SDRs, or maybe they have just implemented a new tool in their tech stack, like, that's happened to the company, but I can tie that to the goals of the sales leader and think about what could be a focus for them. So when you're choosing your trigger, always make sure to actually add the relevance to the person. Like, you can't just lead with something random, like, hey, saw you liked a random post on LinkedIn about dogs. Like, that's not a trigger because it's not relevant. It has to be relevant to their pain, their day to day. So once you've got that trigger, the second thing is the implication. So based on that trigger event, what could that mean to the individual? Josh Braun talks about this, and it's incredible, which is like poke the bear. 97% of people aren't in the market to buy, 3% are ready now. So it's our job to try and educate that 97 as well as find the 3%. So what we want to do is plant the seed of the issue. Again, a lot of buyers don't even know they have an issue, as weird as that sounds. I always say this to the reps I coach, but let's say, I have some reps selling to cyber professionals, like, for example, CIOs, CTOs, people selling to finance leaders, CFOs. And I always tell the reps that you're more educated in their world than them. As weird as this sounds, and hear me out, the person, the CIO, only understands the majority of the time their world, like how it works in their company, because a lot of them have been there 10 plus years, right? They understand their process, their day to day, their world. They don't understand what you do, their competitors, all the other options out there. They just don't have the full perspective. Versus you as the seller, you understand what they're currently doing, what you do, what the competitors do, and you have the full picture. So what we want to do is get the prospect thinking about an issue they haven't even thought about. So for example, let's go back to the CRO. And if I'm like, hey, if you just hired 5 new AEs, then the implication, what I'm going to ask is, curious how you're going about ramping them all at the same time. Like, I'm just planting the seed of what could be an issue, right? Then we move into the pain and cost of inaction. And in my opinion, this is the most important part of the email. Tons of reps, when I initially start working with them, just talk about time and money. They're like, oh, it costs a lot and we can save you time. But every single pain ultimately comes down to time and money. Like, if it's ramp time, it's the time it takes them to do it. If it's you saving them on FX costs, then it comes down to cost. Like, everything comes down to time and money. So we never just want to say that because it's so broad, so vague. And every salesperson will be like, I'll help you 10x your leads and save you 10 hours a week. Like, it's just too generic. So what we want to do is make it specific to the KPIs of the individual. So what this looks like is, again, if I'm talking to a CRO, I'm going to be saying typically it takes 6 months to get an AE fully ramped, meaning 3 months of that is non-pipeline generating and $200,000 of ARR can be missed. Like that is a clear cost of inaction because to the sales leader, their KPIs is making sure that their team hits their number, which helps them hit theirs. If that makes sense. So again, we have to understand the surface level pain is calling out the issue, like just a surface level thing. I always use this weird analogy when I'm coaching reps. I'm like, if I just walked up to you and said, "Do you want a bandage?" You'd say no. If I said, "Hey, you got a paper cut, do you want it?" Probably still say no. But then if I said, "You have a paper cut over a major artery, you're going to bleed to death. Do you want this bandage?" Suddenly it becomes valuable. Why? Because I'm showing you the cost of inaction. This small, minor surface level issue leads to a massive negative that affects you. And we want to do the same when we're talking to our prospects. So always, always go back to what I said at the start. Understand your buyers and show that cost of inaction. Then the last part is social proof solution and your soft CTA. So social proof and solution, what we don't want to do is tell them how we fix it. So a lot of reps, again, they'll be like, we have an automated AI platform that just like that is the vehicle to get them to the desired result. It's not the desired result itself. So what we want to do is use relevant social proof and talk about how we help someone get to a desired outcome. So again, there's a framing called before after bridge, which you can search, but the before is their current situation where they are right now. The after is the desired situation where they want to be, and the bridge to get there is you. You help them go from this negative situation to where they want to be. So what we want to do is talk about, again, if I'm talking to a sales leader, how we helped Gong's reps ramp in 2 months, because that's the desired outcome. They don't care how I'm helping them get there, sorry. They care about where they're going, what's the dream destination. Again, Alex Hormozy says, don't sell the plane flight, sell the destination, sell where they're going to get by implementing your solution. And the very last thing is your soft CTA. If you've done these steps so far and you've created a great email talking about their pains, it's relevant, it's tied to their goals and they're interested, but then you end the CTA with like, do you want to hop on a 30-minute discovery call? Like that can kill your chances. What we don't want to do is jump ahead. Just focus on selling the next step, which is a reply. When we get a reply, even if it's just a, yeah, sure, we can call that person. We can follow up an email. We can book them from there, but we need the response. So with your soft call to actions, always frame it as starting a conversation. 2 ways you can do this. You can do the classic, like worth a chat, open to hearing more, think this could help you out, like just pure basic, or we can reframe the value prop in the call to action, which would be like, if we could help you reduce ramp time, would that be worth a chat? Because again, even if someone's scanning through this email, they're going to see that and it's going to be relevant. So again, final takeaways, like the tips framework, we lead with the trigger, we add the implication, what could that mean? We talk about pain, why should they care? Then we move into social proof and how we've helped others fix it, and we finish it with the soft CTA. This is the exact system that I've installed with, again, over 200 reps now over the past 2 years. Some of them have been seeing incredible results booking multiple meetings, and this is what worked for me. So I'm going to leave the resources in the comments if you want to check it out. Hopefully this video is useful. Just focus on creating relevant messaging. And if you do want my help installing this, we call it the cold email operating system in your day-to-day as a rep, feel free to book a call in the description and we can have a chat to see if we think it's a fit. Speak to you soon.